I am Rachel Strauss-Muniz, also known as Rachel La Loca.
I am Michael Diaz, also known as Juan Vago.
I identify as a woman. Sometimes I identify as a bitch. No, I'm just kidding. I identify as a Latina. I am bicultural, but I definitely love being a mixed race Latina.
I identify myself as a human being, and then as I work my way down, I am American, and then Dominican, and then I'm a product of Connecticut and New York. So I don't know how you would put it together if you
a Connecticut York?
A Connecticut Yorkian. So
my story has two lanes that converged because I began working in the media on the marketing side. I went to school for business and management with a focus on marketing and Latino studies. And from there, I landed just working across different media outlets, specifically multicultural media outlets. In '08, both him and I were cast in something called HBO Habla, which was a series that basically interviewed people like us that were they identified as Latino but had really interesting upbringings and backgrounds. And then at that point, I was like, okay, I really like doing this thing on camera. And so I just started, cultivating the talent, dipping my toe in several different things, theater, comedy. It wasn't until my first son was born 2.5 years ago that I was like, no more corporate America. I'm taking this on by storm because my heart, my passion is performing.
I think media, for me, I think it started when I did my independent comedy back in 2005 when I shot it. And then from there, I've done online radio with Rachel. We covered the red carpet as well. So I think I've been on the blogger side, I've been interviewing side, and then obviously I've had comedy troupes and done a lot of short films and sketches. But my first initial was full in doing a feature film, and from there I pretty much branched off in different stuff in the media.
Our paths crossed, and that's when we really became a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Because we discovered one another on Mi Gente. We wasn't trying to hook up, but we saw each other's passion in comedy, and we definitely clicked because he made me laugh, I made him laugh. We're both eager. Well, you didn't really make me laugh that hard, but you made me chuckle.
Okay, that's good enough.
And then we saw the eagerness in one another and the hunger for it, so we started collaborating. The online radio show, especially after the Habla thing, we were both like, okay, we're brought together by the universe to create something powerful. So then online radio, we did some sketches together. Flama really, embraced Mike's comedy and brought him to another level. And then he put me on to some of those Flama videos. And then from there, we realized that we both have this coexisting passion to make people laugh, and that's why we're doing Latinos Out Loud.
I did a podcast with Jamie Fernandez, and it was just basically interviewing Latino actors. But I still felt that, from our experience in Bochiche Bueno show, which was on Urban Latino radio, we did it for 2.5 years together. I felt that the chemistry was there for us to take it into the podcast world, because we bring a unique voice on how we did things together. So I think it was just me pitching it to her about let's do a podcast. She wasn't as familiar with it, and she was like, who listens to podcasts?
That's exactly what I said.
Who?
I was like, what is this? What is PBS? Like, who listens to podcasts? Podcasts are boring. And in my head at the time, I was like, podcasts are just like talk radio, or like somebody in their basement talking about sports. But then I was like, but let me just do some research and get back to you. And I did the research, and I was wrong. Very wrong. Like, so wrong that I called him. I was like, I will never ever say or act like this again. I was like, this is a genius idea, because this is exactly what the space needs. More Latino podcasters, more comedy, younger type comedy. At the time, there was nobody in the podcast space talking to us. So I was like, we have to do it. We have to take this task on. I think Dominicans and Dominican traditions and my Dominican family are freaking hilarious. I think we're unique. I think our stories are very different. So I think we have a debt to our people to like really, showcase that in a comical way and make light of what we experience at home.
Yeah, I think I've always said it. I mean, I think being Dominican is super cool, and I think we're always ahead when it comes to certain stuff. So I think being Dominican, obviously, you take an aspect of being from the Caribbean, right? But as far as Latin content, I think that we bring a certain edge and flavor that, no offense to other Latinos, I think we can offer.
Well, you can find the podcast at We Are Latinos Out Loud on Instagram and Facebook, and on Twitter we're at Loca Ibago, and my personal is at Rachel La Loca, everywhere.
Okay, you answer the first part, so I'm just gonna do my individual.
I represented for us, as I often do.
Everything is Juan Bago, even on LinkedIn.
You want to put out your LinkedIn?
Yeah, Juan Bago.
Okay.